Dale, RPG Rider here. So, I've got my Robotech soundtrack playing, and I'm going to try not to drop my bike. I gently laid down my bike the other day, and it was really stupid. Not that laying down your bike is ever right, but essentially how it happened was really stupid. So what I did was I decided to put some music on, and I stopped the bike, took off my helmet with a GoPro on it, and laid it on the tank of the bike. But I didn't have the kickstand down, so I was just sitting on the bike, and the bike was straight up. And of course the helmet started to slide off. So what I did is I reached for the helmet to get it. And when I reached for the helmet, for some reason the bike slid the other way under me. And I was on the bike and I was able to stop it from falling. But I've got a back injury right now. So what happened is I was just sitting at an odd angle, and I pretty much caught the bike, but I felt pressure on my back immediately. And because of that, I had to actually step away from the bike, as painful as that is. So I tried to minimize the force at which it toppled over. But essentially, once I felt that pain in my back, that was it. I had to let it go. So I just stepped away. And it really was, obviously it's never gentle, but, it just kind of, I eased it to the halfway point, I guess, of tipping over, and then stepped away, and then it fell. So I scratched the fairing. It's pretty minor stuff, and slightly bent the foot peg. A very slight bend there, so but that's it. Most if you're gonna, usually when they say if you drop your bike, usually what they mean is you've actually crashed it while you're riding. You drop the bike. If you're at a stopped position, usually they say you laid down the bike, right? And some people even say gently laid down the bike. But essentially, it goes down either way. One is worse than the other, usually. But, yeah, that was awful. I felt really terrible about it. But at the same time, it could have been worse, right? So that's it, a scratched fairing and a bent foot peg. And the foot peg should be pretty easy to bend back into shape. Or just get another foot peg, right? Oh well. But that's it, that's life, right? And part of the thing about life is that life is filled with change. Nothing stays the same. That's the constant of the universe, as far as we know, is change. And things change, right? And nothing lasts forever. No matter how cool the part of your life is right now, it's going to change, right? So enjoy it. And if it's bad for a few minutes, well, take heart. No matter what, it's all going to change, whether it's good or bad right now. In a little while, it's going to change. You don't have a choice. Right? So enjoy the moments that are good, and take heart that the bad moments are going to end pretty quickly, right? It's just life. So I'm, as I get older, I think that's wisdom, right? Your wisdom score goes up, just like in D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. Your wisdom score does go up. I'll let you know it does. And it does through experience, through reflection, and through all the other stuff, right? You just start realizing, and you build up a bank of experience to draw from and say, oh yeah, right, when I did that, or when I thought this, or when I didn't do that, this happened. And then you've got multiple experiences, and you can draw from that, and then your intuition kicks in, which is that part of the brain that's always working in the background. One of the parts that's putting stuff together, putting information together, and giving it to you in the form of emotion or feeling, right? So if you ever man, I don't know why, I just felt, that I didn't trust him, or blah, 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 blah. That's your intuition. So that's your brain taking in your stuff from your sight, comparing it to memory, taking in information from your hearing, taking all of that information in, and, in the background, coming up with that little response. And then you're just like, it just didn't feel right, or I kind of felt, when I put on my seatbelt, blah, 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 blah. That's your brain taking information that's saying, hey, today's a pretty crazy day to go riding or to go driving. I'm collecting the information and I'm giving it to you and telling you to watch out. Right? So it's still, your mind doing its thing, but a lot of that stuff isn't at the conscious level, right? So intuition. Anyway, so your wisdom score does go up. So if you're not very wise, take heart. Your wisdom score is going to go up. That's a nice spot to sit, maybe. Oh. So what I'm doing today is nothing. I'm going to do as little as possible. I'm going to ride around a little tiny bit, do a little bit of a vloggeroony here, and then when I go back home, I'm going to start my Colonial Viper model kit, Colonial Viper Mark II, which I picked up on eBay for, I can't remember what I paid for it, but I was pretty determined to have it. I've been in a Battlestar mood lately. I enjoyed the new series immensely, and I only remember little parts of the old series, right? And so I picked up the original DVD set, or the DVD set for the original Battlestar, and I've been watching that, and that's been a real treat. Lauren Green, all those guys, and a real treat. It was quite, I'd forgotten a lot about it as the years went by, but the more I watch it now, the more I realize there's a lot of what am I saying here? Hold on, I'm trying to concentrate here. There's a lot of drama in it, For those of you who haven't seen the new Battlestar, it's so dramatic. You're on the edge of your seat for every episode. I don't know, it's just, whoa, new Battlestar. But when I'm watching the old one, I'm finding it's quite dramatic as well, and quite serious, and it's amazing. And it has this amazing intro. If you haven't heard the music for the original Battlestar, as much as I like the new Battlestar, the intro is mainly one piano key going ding, 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 ding. And the new one, or the older one, sorry, is just mind-blowing orchestra, like billion-member orchestra playing. I just absolutely love that. Love it to pieces. Who doesn't like Battlestar, right? So anyway, because I was in the mood for the old Battlestar, but still loved the new, I decided to go for a Colonial Viper. I don't know what she's waiting for. So I decided to go for the Mark II Colonial Viper, which is the same design as the from the original series, basically. Right, it was my favorite Colonial Viper anyway. Incidentally, I was reading my Cortex classic, Battlestar role-playing game, and just reading up on the history of the Colonial Viper. It was very interesting that the first Vipers, Mark 1 or 2, I can't remember which one, they were built without complex electronics, right, or computer systems. The result of which, maybe I'll even stop for this. The result of this is that when the Cylons, during the Cylon War, they would, download viruses and whatnot into the new, colonial equipment. So the new Vipers all stopped in mid-space flight and, floated around helplessly, whereas the older version of the Vipers didn't have sophisticated electronics, so they managed to survive that. So it's kind of lucky for old school, right? Yeah, this is becoming a Battlestar vlog.